we could probably do a couple episodes on this because there's some parents who have kids now who have grown out of the house and now they're living a different lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Parents may beat themselves up. It was their fault. But at the end of the day, kids have to make choices.
Right.
Everybody's going to make their own choice. Choose this day who you will serve, right? And it's a season, who I'm going to be, what I choose to do. But what are there some particular things now, if you got kids in your home, that you think, let's give them some things you can do. Again, every kid is different. Every family is different. But what are some things, the practical things that they can do in their home to help spur on the faith?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about modeling. We obviously, it's hard to tell them to do something that we're not modeling as well. And I think that's so important. And the humility, letting them see how a Christian responds. How does a Christian spend their money? We've even been thinking about that. Yeah. We hope that our kids would, it's always weird that we let them know how much we make and do we let them into those things, but we do show them a bit of, we give the first portion of our income, we give that to the Lord, to his work, to the church. We also have some aside that we give to, we've had children that we've sponsored before through agencies, or when there's a need coming up, and we try to at least let them know, and not as a show, but to say, hey, we're gonna give $50 to our friend that's going through this. Would you want to as well with your money? We've actually been doing with our kids. This has been tough, and these are questions I have. We want them to learn to give the first of their portion to the church or to God's work. Sometimes we wrestled with that, and that's been a little bit tough because it's their money they're making. And they're like, wait, am I, and they'll say, I'm not trying to throw my kids under the bus, but they're asking the right questions. You want me to throw away my, that 10%? I'm just throwing it away. No, you're not throwing it away. And yet we want to model this for you.
To be generous, right?
Yeah, to be generous. But then my wife and I scratch our heads. Do we have the right to make them do that, or can we at least lead them to where when they're 18 or 19 they move out? Of course it's their own decision, but have we at least set some tracks that and so we're talking. We don't have the full answer on that, because the more we start to try to force that, on the other hand, if all I do is make suggestions to my kids, they're not going to do, thanks for that suggestion. So is there something where we say, hey, part of this, while you're in our house, this is going to be a practice. Now, when you get to move out or you're 18 and you're out,
you get to make some choices.
You get to make your own, but you're still under ours. So what we do is we give the first portion of our money to the Lord in praise.
And I think that's honoring to say, hey, this is what we do in our home. This is how and I think part of it is we need to help them to develop that muscle, because you just tell somebody up front, hey, give 10% away, whatever it is. No, but if you train them younger, you train them the better. But this is what we do in our home. Even going to church as a family, we go to church on Sundays. This is what we do. Once you get older, you can choose to do. But I think sometimes, we weren't given a lot of choices, and some of that built a habit, but now I understand it more. Sometimes it's like, if we look at the same way, you don't tell your kids, hey, do you want to go to school? Yeah. No, you make them go to school. Why? It's beneficial for them. So some things you set up that your kids need to do because they need to learn how beneficial it is. They don't know. I think sometimes we try to give kids too many choices when they don't even understand how to make these choices. So I think but how you communicate that matters too. Not like, hey, give me that. You got to get that to church. Nah, let's have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it. Let's help. And I think that's important, even when it comes to like reading the Bible.